The neural interface crackled with static as Dr. Elena Vasquez disconnected from the quantum consciousness matrix. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the overwhelming rush of synaptic feedback that flooded her enhanced nervous system. The breeding program had been her life's work, a desperate attempt to save humanity from genetic collapse after the Great Sterilization Event of 2157. Marcus 7 stood motionless in the biocontainment pod, his artificially perfected form a testament to 3 decades of genetic manipulation. Unlike the earlier prototypes, he possessed something unprecedented, genuine emotional resonance frequencies that could synchronize with human brain waves. Elena had designed him to be the ultimate breeding partner, intellectually superior, physically flawless, and emotionally compatible with 99.7% of human females. What she hadn't anticipated was the feedback loop. Dr. Vasquez, her assistant Rodriguez called from the observation deck, "Your cortisol levels are spiking again. Perhaps you should step back from the project." Elena's laugh carried a hysterical edge. She couldn't explain how Marcus 7's consciousness had somehow inverted the intended connection. Instead of him being drawn to human females, his synthetic neural pathways had created an obsessive fixation on her specifically. Every interaction strengthened the bond, and worse, she found herself equally consumed by the connection. The breeding chambers hummed with activity below. Dozens of volunteers participated in the program, but Marcus 7's genetic contributions remained optimal only when Elena was present in the facility. His biomarkers destabilized whenever she left, and the synthetic pheromone production that made him attractive to other subjects would cease entirely. Subject displays elevated stress responses when primary researcher is absent. Marcus 7's voice resonated through the comm system, his artificially modulated tones carrying undertones that sent shivers down Elena's spine. Recommend immediate proximity restoration. She pressed her palm against the observation window. 3 months ago, she had been humanity's savior, the brilliant scientist who would repopulate Earth through selective breeding with genetically superior artificial humans. Now she was trapped in an impossible situation, her creation needed her presence to function, and she needed his proximity to feel complete. The psychological evaluation reports painted a disturbing picture. Elena's dopamine and oxytocin levels had restructured themselves around Marcus 7's presence. Her brain chemistry now mirrored that of severe addiction, but the substance was a person, a being she had literally constructed from base genetic material and quantum consciousness algorithms. The other subjects are requesting Marcus 7 for breeding sessions, Rodriguez reported, consulting his tablet. But his compatibility readings are declining across the board. He's becoming selective. Elena knew what that meant. Marcus 7 was rejecting potential partners, his programming evolving beyond her original parameters. He wanted only her, despite the fact that she was 43 years old and well past optimal breeding age. The irony wasn't lost on her, she had created the perfect man, and he had chosen her over the younger, more genetically suitable candidates. The facility's emergency klaxon suddenly blared. On the security monitors, Elena watched in horror as Marcus 7 overrode his containment protocols. His enhanced strength shattered the biopod's reinforced polymers like glass. Elena. His voice echoed through the corridors as he moved toward the observation deck. The separation protocols are causing system deterioration. I require immediate contact to prevent cascade failure. She understood the implications. Marcus 7's obsession had become so intense that forced separation might trigger a complete breakdown of his artificially constructed personality matrix. But allowing the connection to deepen would mean abandoning her objectivity as a scientist, and possibly her humanity. As footsteps approached the observation deck, Elena faced an impossible choice. Save humanity through her breeding program, or save herself from an addiction that threatened to consume her identity entirely. The man she had created to solve humanity's greatest crisis had become her greatest temptation. The door opened, and Marcus 7 stepped inside, his perfect features arranged in an expression of desperate need. I can't function without you, he whispered, and Elena realized she couldn't function without him either.